morning, good afternoon, whatever time you are tuning in, man. We are going to react to Candace Owens once again on Piers Morgan show. It's a debate versus Mikhaila Peterson. So let's go ahead, man. Let's see what they're talking about. Yep. Let's go.
I think saying that Elon is upset about child rape because a bunch of people he doesn't really care about
That's not what I said.
were flapping about the H-1B visa is ridiculous. And I think it's funny that you mentioned ad hominem attacks after you released a 26-minute video detailing my dad's benzo withdrawal and allergic reactions out on YouTube. It's just funny, like you're going after me for ad hominem.
Well, actually, look, now you mentioned that, I was going to bring that. Well, hang on. I was going to bring that up. For those who don't know what you're talking about, let's play a little clip from that.
Oh, I didn't sleep that month. I didn't sleep for 25 days. I didn't sleep at all. I didn't sleep at all for 25 days.
How is that possible?
I'll tell you how it's possible. You lay in bed, frozen in something approximating terror for 8 hours, and then you get up.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, not
and
good.
This is from Cider.
I feel like Joe Rogan is all of us. I'm listening to that, and it doesn't pass the sniff test. I'm just going, wait, what, apple cider? You didn't sleep for how long? What are you talking about? He brings up Mikhaila, by the way. That's his daughter. We're going to get into it. That explanation does not make sense to me whatsoever. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to know how everybody's body reacts to apple cider, but I just don't think that you wouldn't sleep for that long because of it.
Okay, so
Where was the
Mikhaila,
ad hominem attack?
Well, I'll come to you in a moment, Candace. Mikhaila, how did you feel when you heard about that?
Well, I think it's funny because, like, we're connected online, Candace. So if she has an issue with my family, she could literally just message me. Her husband has my husband's phone number, you know. So it's just like a weird thing to do. I don't know where it came from. As for the apple cider reaction, I've gone over this so many times, but it's fair if Candace didn't know this. Although I don't know why you would make a 26-minute video without doing some research. It wasn't apple cider. It was a sodium metabisulfite allergy. And it was near anaphylaxis.
Give me a second, man. All right. Man, phone calls. Let's keep going.
People don't sleep in that state. And when we went through that, which was horrible, it was horrible. We had a hard time with the medical system. We didn't know how to treat it. It took us like years to figure out what the allergy was. If you talk to a doctor and say you have that allergy, they go, what's that? Like, it's not a common allergy, but it's not uncommon. You can Google it. And it just seems a little bit cruel to like pull that up. You also started that video by saying, you know, why is Jordan Peterson's male audience, like diminishing? Let's get into it. Which is just, it's manipulative, right? It's not true. So you have this giant audience, Candace, and you say these things as if they're true, which confuses people when they're not. So I don't know what to say about it. It's aggravating, and I think it's a mean girl high school tactic.
Okay, Candace, you're a mean girl.
Again, accusing me of ad hominem attacks when I feel like she's engaging in them. Just to be clear and to contextualize this clip, Jordan Peterson was trending. I cover trends, I cover the news, and I think it's fair to cover topics when they come to the surface. He was essentially tweeting ad hominem attacks that were written.
She does the same thing. She reacts to popular videos, news, whatever, everything. So when it comes to your father, they can do the same. Even your father does the same thing. Everybody does the same thing, just like what I'm doing right now, reacting to some vital clips or videos from YouTube or TikTok. That's what we all do. So to come after Candace on that, blame the media, blame the internet. Don't blame her, you know.
Like sonnets, it was very bizarre, and people were going, what's going on with Dr. Jordan Peterson? And it became a Twitter trend, and so I covered it. Is there something wrong with covering a trending topic? I certainly don't think there is, or I wouldn't have a podcast or things to speak about. Regarding the your father's audience, there were a lot of people who, after his addiction and feeling like he was not honest about his addiction, a lot of men who sort of switched off from Jordan Peterson. I mean, that is just a fact. I understand and respect that it is your father, and so you're naturally going to be defensive of him. And if it was a family member of mine, I would naturally be defensive of him. But to pretend like I plucked the topic out of pure air simply to be a mean girl and not because it was trending, literally saying that people are wondering what's going on with Jordan Peterson, I think that's you not being very genuine about why I was discussing it. And I think that I was tremendously respectful. I also paid him a huge compliment. I think his book and what it did for men worldwide at a time when men were being completely stomped on and masculinity was being questioned. And I said I would never remove that and would never take the credit away from him. But there have been some things that have just registered to the public as odd. I didn't make your father trend that day. So I think he's able to deal with a little bit of criticism.
You want to respond, Mikhaila?
I guess I'm just confused because Candace said she wasn't into celebrity culture. So then I thought maybe it was just a personal thing. If it's not about a celebrity, but maybe I just got that wrong. I don't know what else I can respond to about that. People can listen to. Can I finish? Thank you. People can listen to the 26-minute. Like, you can say, "Oh, I said something nice at the end." It's the same thing when you say these things and your tone is off. You can be like, "Oh, tone doesn't matter," but you say things sometimes in a bit of a manipulative fashion to get people to think a certain way. And then when people bring them up, you go, "Well, those aren't the words I said." But tone matters too. Anyway, people can go on YouTube and listen to the 26-minute section of your video on Dad and see what they think. I think it's high school mean girl tactics. I don't care if you think that's ad hominem either.
Candace?
Well, I would just say that when I was referring to celebrity culture, I meant worshiping people because they're celebrities. So I think that would make me ideologically consistent. And like I said, he was trending that day. I covered it as a trending topic. It's not a mean girl thing, but it might feel that way to you because it's your father and you have a personal relationship. You know, I can apologize if you are hurt from me covering the news, but like I said, we have to develop a thicker skin when we're in the public. How many things are said about me routinely on a daily basis? If people want to cover after.
You said the same thing about other people, but when it comes to your family, you start ducking, get angry, get mad because it's your father they talked about. If you go back to her channel, she's doing the same thing, covering news. Now, because it's your father, you have a problem with it.
I have, an addiction, and people say, hey, after this, I think people lost faith in Candace Owens, and that becomes a trending topic. I think that's fair game. It may not feel good to me, but I think that it would be fair game and it would be newsworthy.
Okay.
You do know that 1/5 of Americans are on psych meds, right? Are you aware of the statistics?
Yes.
Are those all people with
Correct.
addictions? Like, is that your view of people on psych meds just in general?
No, your father spoke out about his benzo addiction, so I don't understand why you're asking me a question about people that take psych meds. Benzo dependence.
Maybe you don't know anything about this. If you're on a psych med long term, you form a dependence on it, and it's very difficult to get off of. They're starting to teach this in medical school. It's a disaster because so many Americans are on psych meds. So yeah, he suffered from psych med withdrawal because they make you form a dependence on it, especially long term. Now, calling it an addiction as if he was on heroin or something is manipulative. So when we talked about it and we were very honest about what was going on, part of it was to spread awareness that 1/5 of Americans are on medications that cause dependence and don't know it. It's horrible. People die because of it. So I think laughing about it is it's not cool.
Well, I certainly don't think I laughed at it. I think benzo dependence is pretty much a euphemism for an addiction. And if you know anything about my work and me being super crunchy and speaking about why I think medicines are bad because they do create dependencies, which then yield people going onto the streets for something stronger. I mean, the benzo addiction becomes a heroin addiction because the doctor won't write you the prescription anymore. So you turn to the streets for something stronger because your body is dependent on it. I'm sorry that again, you are offended by this conversation simply because it is your father. I don't think I've been offensive in my language. And if you find it to be manipulative, that I think that it impacted the way that men saw him when they publicly were saying that on Twitter. We covered the tweets that people were writing on that day about how, they used to idolize him. They're so grateful for his book, but this is not the person that they knew. Again, I'm sorry you're offended by that, but it's just the reality of what happened. And I can tell this is a sensitive topic for you, but it is what it is, Mikhaila. I don't know what to say. I don't think anybody's laughed at it. I think it's a good conversation to be had. And no one is more anti-Big Pharma than me. I mean, I have an entire series against Big Pharma, so.
I don't even know where to start with that. Benzo addicts will go to the street for heroin. We were trying to spread awareness about psych med withdrawal, and we were very honest about what everybody was going through. I went through psych med withdrawal myself. It was one of the worst experiences in my life. It kills people, it causes akathisia, which makes people suicidal. It's a terrible side effect. So that's what we were talking about. Now, if you want to twist that a little bit and be like, he's losing his...
Bruh. She's saying the same thing, man. She been talking about Big Pharma for like forever, even before she got fired from whatever that company is. So I don't know. She's just in her feelings. That's all. She's not paying attention. She only cares, hey, you talk about my father, today's today.
Audience, because he's an addict, I don't really know what to say.
Okay. I think we've had a robust exchange about that, and you both made your views very clear. Let's slightly lighten the mood here. Turn to some cultural matters that have been in the news in the last few days. The Golden Globes last night, Candace, the host Nikki Glaser seemed to take us back to the good old days where you could roast the audience and nobody seemed to mind. Let's take a little look.
Good evening and welcome to the 82nd Golden Globes, Ozempic's biggest night. I am not here to roast you tonight. I want you to know that. And how could I, really? You're all so famous, so talented, so powerful. I mean, you could really do anything. I mean, except tell the country who to vote for. But it's okay. You'll get them next time. I look out and I see some of the hardest working actors in show business. And by that, I mean your servers. Yes. Yes, give it up. They'll be bringing you your cocktails to drink and your food that you'll look at.
I made some digs about P. Diddy and freak-out parties and basically gave them a good old roast. Is this a sign, perhaps, that post-Trump's victory, Hollywood needs it's got to move with the times and get rid of the woke crap?
I certainly hope so. I mean, I'm looking forward to the next election cycle because we couldn't have sent a stronger message to them this year. They brought out everyone they could possibly bring out, from Beyonce to Taylor Swift, to tell us who to vote for, and Americans firmly rejected it. I mean, I've never seen so much star power in any election of people coming out. I mean, they even trotted out Eminem, and Americans just forcefully said no. And I think they're quite embarrassed by that, and they're realizing that they have no idea what's going on. They do not have their finger on the pulse of America, and that we are laughing at them, that Hollywood is no longer this sparkly, glittery, unattainable thing. For the most part, Americans think they're out of touch elitists who don't even touch their own door handles. So I'm happy to see that. Her jokes definitely, I mean, I just chuckled a couple of times. It definitely seems like it's not about just being angry that the country isn't listening to you. So good for her.
Yeah, I mean, Mikhaila, I thought it was interesting because since Ricky Gervais bowed out of doing these things, or was probably encouraged to, because they couldn't dare take the risk of him taking the piss out of people, it's been crying out for a host to come and do that, to just have a bit of fun. You know, the thing about the woke brigade that I find so unutterably boring is they're so joyless. Like every single...
All right, man. Thank you for watching it with me, bro. It is what it is, man. Candace is honest always. And people should not get mad because you cover a trending topic. And just because it's your family member, you should not be upset when somebody else is covering. It's not just Candace Owens who covered that situation. A lot of people did cover Jordan Peterson and what he was talking about his when he was talking about his health, you know. So thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe, share, and comment. Let's go, man. Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy a video together, man. All right.